guys want to say hi? Hi! Hello, babies! Do you want to say hello to the video? Do you? This is Chanel. And this is Romeo.
That's just my baby dog. That's just my baby dog.
I gotta do the video now. Thanks for your help. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lexi and today I'm bringing you the mid-year book freakout tag. So honestly, I'm so shocked that we are now basically in July. We probably are in July by the time I'm posting this. Time has absolutely flown this year. Like, considering we were stuck at home for like, what was it, like 2 months? Time went so fast and I can't believe it's time to do this tag. Again, today I am bringing you this video from my lounge room. I'm looking after my puppies. They're just over there and they're almost asleep. Like, they're like inching towards it. So this is the best place for me to be right now, just so that I can keep an eye on them and also film my video for you guys. Today I will be answering all 15 of the questions with what books I think best fit the prompts. So without further ado, let's jump straight into question 1. Question 1 is, what was the best book of 2020? So for me, I'm sure a few of you can guess what this book might be, but it was definitely The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This book came out in May 2020 and I absolutely smashed it when it came out. I just had to read it. If you haven't yet seen my review of the book, it is live on my channel. I will leave it linked up here. But I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was everything I wanted and more. It was honestly just the perfect book for me. So of course I had to rate this my top book of 2020. I'm definitely interested to see though if anything beats it in the second half of 2020. There is a lot of really great books that I want to get to. Question 2 is the best sequel of 2020. Now for this I chose The Runaway King by Jennifer A. Nielsen. I physically read this book, but it was a friend's copy, not my own, so I don't have the copy with me. This book basically follows a young orphan named Sage, and we follow him on a journey to discovering who he is. This book did come out in 2013, but I only read it a few weeks ago, so I'm counting it for this point. But it basically follows on from the first book and we learn a lot more about the world, we learn a lot more about the individual character, and it does introduce a lot of like war elements, and I think that's what the third book will be about. So I'm definitely intrigued to continue with the series. One of my absolute favourite parts of the sequel was the element of pirates.
Mr. Smee? Ah, good form! Did Pan show good form when you did this to me?
So if you're interested in that sort of mythology, I would definitely recommend that you check this one out. Question number 3 is a new release that you haven't read yet but want to get to. And for that one, I've chosen A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. I actually have this book on order. It is due to come in anytime now from BookTopia, I believe. It was only released in June and I do hope to get to it sometime next month. I chose this book as part of trying to diversify my reads and read from all different types of authors from all different types of lives. And the fact that I had mermaids in it definitely drew me to that. I love anything based under the sea, and anything like mermaid-esque is definitely up my alley.
That's all. We were only trying to drown her.
The cover is also stunning, so I cannot wait to receive this and I really hope that I love the story. Question number 4 is, what is your most anticipated read to come in the later half of 2020? And for this prompt I chose The Dark Tide by Alicia Jasinska. This book has honestly been on my to be read since I heard of the announcement. It honestly sounds so cool. Again, it sounds like it has like an ocean or water element to it, so it's definitely something that I'm interested in. I believe that this book comes out in August 2020, so I definitely want to get to that in the next few months. Question number 5 is, what is your biggest disappointment of 2020? And I know this one's going to be controversial, but I'm going to have to go with The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I literally have gotten about halfway and I just eventually gave up. I started reading it in February. I read it just before I went on my cruise and I took it with me on the cruise as well, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna love this book and then I'm gonna have such a good memory attached to it because I read it on the boat. and it just did not work out for me. I definitely really loved the concept and I loved the themes that we had so far, but for me it was just so slow. Like, I could not push through any further than halfway. I just gave up because I just found it really slow. I could not get through them and I had to DNF this one. So this was definitely my biggest disappointment. Moving on to question 6, what was the biggest surprise of 2020? I'm going to have to go with Educated by Tara Westover. This book was chosen as the physical read for my book club that I go to in real life, and we all absolutely loved this. I didn't really have like that great expectations going into it. Like, I don't really read memoirs, so I was a bit like concerned that I wouldn't like it. However, a few chapters in, that completely changed for me. I was addicted. I wanted to find out what happened. I wanted to find out how she ended up, and it was just overall a really great read. There were so many layers to her and to her story.
Oh, you both have layers.
And I really appreciated reading it. I would say it does have a few trigger warnings, so please check them out before you read it, but it definitely was a really good read for me. Question 7, who is your new favorite author? I started getting into the author Lisa Jewell at the end of last year. She basically writes a lot of mysteries and thrillers. I am literally now obsessed. Like, I will read anything that this woman comes out with because every story has been so great. So far, I have read these ones and I definitely really enjoyed all of them. So I will definitely be continuing to read her books, and I look forward to my next read by Lisa Jewell. Question number 8 is your new fictional crush, and to be honest, like, I don't have one. Like, nothing really stood out for me as a character that I'd want to date in real life. Question number 9 is who is your new favorite character? And I definitely have to go with Bree from On the Come Up. She honestly was such a great character to read. I wish we were best friends in real life. She honestly sounds so cool and so fun. I absolutely loved this book by Angie Thomas because I felt like it was a YA book that dealt with real world problems. It definitely took teenage angst and put it into circumstances that really do affect teens today. Angie Thomas did an amazing job of writing Bree in a way that you can totally relate to her even if you've had none of the same experiences, and I think that's such a powerful way to tell stories. I have The Hate U Give as well to read, which I'll hopefully get to in the next few months, so I think that will definitely become a new favourite if it's written anything like how this one was. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry, and I really don't think that that's happened for me this year. I am currently reading The Astonishing Colour of After, and I have heard that one does give you a lot of tears and a lot of feels, so it could potentially be that book, but I can't say yet because I haven't finished it. For question number 11, a book that made you happy, I decided to go with Waiting for Tom Hanks by Kerry Winfrey. So this was an audiobook that I listened to probably more at the start of the year, and I absolutely loved it. The characters were fun and quirky, and it was just like a typical sort of rom-com story. And sometimes I feel like you need something easy and light like that just to sort of, yeah, just make you feel happy, make you feel the feels, and get you back into the reading routine as well. I also remember it having a lot of like pop culture references and like cutesy references, obviously to Tom Hanks movies, but to other movies of the 90s, 2000s as well. Question number 12 is what was your favorite book to movie adaptation of 2020? For this one, I'm definitely going to have to go with Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Again, this was another book that I read with my physical book club, and to be completely honest, I didn't really enjoy the book. It's a stunning cover and like I get the hype around it, but I am just not really that into classics. I just find it really hard to connect with them and to really enjoy them. But in saying that, I found the movie phenomenal. Like, I loved what they did with the timeline. I felt like it just made it so much more interesting, and all the actresses were perfect for the roles. And I found it really added like a modern feminist twist to it. Question number 13 is favorite review that you have written or put on YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is you do. Of course, I had to go with How to Be Black by Baratunde Thurston. I listened to the audiobook as a buddy read with my friend from Nigeria, Ukemi. Her channel here on YouTube is Pages Highlights. I'll leave her down in the description bar as well. We both read this book over probably about 2 weeks, and then we compared thoughts together, and then we both made videos reviewing it as well. I found this book so entertaining but also so informative. It really does tell you a lot about the African American experience, and I think not only as someone who is white and from Australia, but as someone who wants to do better and be an ally, it was a very important read, and it was very, very educational. But it was delivered to you in such a fun way. Like, Baratunde just has a way with words. He just knows how to keep you engaged. And I think listening to the audiobook was really the best way to go on this one. If you haven't seen my review of that, I will leave it just up here for you as well. Question number 14 is, what is the most beautiful book of 2020? And as I mentioned earlier, I am in the middle of reading The Astonishing Colour of After by Emily X.R. Pan. And apart from the beautiful cover, like, this is stunning, especially for like a paperback. This is also so far like really beautifully written. I'm literally up to chapter 26 at the moment. Like, I'm not that far into it, but I'm honestly obsessed. It's so well written. It's already so heart-wrenching and so like heartwarming at the same time. So I really think it's going to become a new favorite. And lastly, question 15. What books do you have to read in 2020? And I honestly am not even going to answer this question. Like, there is too many that I need to read. I have so many books that I want to read, so many books sitting upstairs in my room, and then a new book comes in and I just ignore them and I read the new book. It's a Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes all over again. I am definitely more interested to hear what you guys have to read in 2020. I think that's enough rambling from me, so I'll leave this video here. But please don't forget to like this video if you did enjoy my mid-year book freakout tag. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!